Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. So let's talk about the market right now. FOMC meeting was today. The rate decision remains unchanged as expected, and the market across the board seemed to be having some relief rally because the dump leading up to um, the FOMC decision um, was just uncertainty of just people afraid that the Fed might end up increasing the interest rate due to the fact that inflation is not where the Fed wants to be. The Fed's goal is 2% inflation, whereas like the inflation rate was like around I don't know, like 2.9% ish. I forget exact number, but um, but I do think that inflation will go down in the near future, especially because of Trump's policies. One of the ways in which Trump has said that he wants to fight inflation is to decrease the price of oil by producing more oil domestically in the US. I don't know how quickly that is going to be taken into effect. I haven't heard him um, do any executive orders around this. Maybe he has already, I'm not sure, but I just haven't heard of it yet directly. But I'll let you guys know when I hear of it. So just looking at the US oil chart, because oil is one of the biggest drivers of inflation. Whenever oil prices go up, it increases inflation rate because um, all the cars, most of the modes of transportation requires oil. So think of when, the grocery store uses trucks to, move products into their stores. They use like big cargo trucks, and these cargo trucks require oil, which basically diesel gasoline, which is basically derived from crude oil, I believe. Um, so yeah, whenever the oil price goes up, that would increase the price of everything in the grocery store. That's one of the biggest driver of inflation. So with Trump encouraging the production of oil in the U.S. Domestically, yeah, through his policies, that we could see inflation go down because U.S. oil is likely to go down, as well as the fact that Trump is actually one of the most peaceful president, if not the most peaceful president in the past several decades. Basically, we've seen so many presidents come into office and then declare war for the interest of the military industrial complex and things like that, things that they won't tell you. But Trump has been very peaceful, and a lot of wars are ending, and he's like negotiating peace and stuff like that. So I think that will be very good in driving the price of oil down. And so just looking at the technical chart of oil, let me just take a look at the 1 week chart. This is just a such a large time frame. Oil just like is such a big chart that I want to look at the weekly. But I drew this like downward trend line connecting the highs of the candles, and we did see a breakout to the upside. This yeah, on January 6-ish time frame. But then we see a decline in the breakdown under this trend line. Although we still have 2 days for this candle to close, if this candle closes below this trend line, then we may have somewhat of a bearish sign, especially for the short term. So when it closes to this level, we could be seeing oil move down to the $65 price point, which is then testing this support right here. If it doesn't bounce, or it could bounce and hit this like trend line again. Perhaps it could break out, or maybe it will get rejected here, and then it could break down below this trend line, which once it closes below this bottom support trend line, then we could be looking for oil to go much lower. Um, the maybe like $50 ish area is what I'm assuming. I don't have a real price target, but that's sort of the target I'm looking at, in my opinion, at least. I don't have any hard data to back that up, but that's what I'm thinking. And if the next CPI report is coming up on February 12th, that's in a couple of weeks. Uh, yeah, if inflation goes down in the next report, um, then we could be looking at a more bullish market, um, because the Fed may start to, uh, plan more rate reduction, some rate cuts into the plan of the rest of the year. And typically when we see that, the markets get really, really bullish. But anyways, just talking about the market right now, we did see Bitcoin bounce on the news of the no rate change, and because Jerome Powell did not say anything that was, bearish for the market in the sense that he's not saying we're planning more rate hikes in the future. He's like very cautious about how he talks about the market as to not spook the market. And as a result, we see the market kind of just being relieved and people um s- just feeling more comfortable buying into cryptos. And I think that if we get more people piling into the market, it's going to be slowly at first, but there's going to be a threshold in which we could see a short squeeze because just leading up to this FOMC meeting decision, uh, we probably saw a lot of people shorting the market, and now it may be time for the shorts to be squeezed. And I'll look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map just to see what levels we could be looking at for for a short squeeze. So just zooming out a little bit. So we see like a really big chunk of liquidation level here at $106,000 on Bitcoin, and even higher than that is 107.2 and 107.5 level. Um, just having Trump and his administration being so bullish on cryptos, I think that the market is probably biased towards the upside, especially because yeah, the market just seems more comfortable at this point, and then just a big cloud seems to have been lifted from the crypto market. Um, but anything's possible. Like cryptos could dump from here. There may be things that I don't know that could be coming up that could spook the market again. There, black swans conditions can happen at any time. Who knows? But that's why we always got to be cautious in the market. But at this phase of the cycle, this is basically a raging bull market. If we zoom out, we're still on a huge uptrend, and we're sort of consolidating, but we are pushing to the upside and eventually leading to a breakout potentially. So we'll see how this weekly candle closes on Sunday. But if we close on, I think if we close high enough to not have this like red ca dot on Market Cipher, then I'd say we're probably going to be bullish from then on. So, all right. Yeah. And let's also look at Bitcoin dominance right now. So, yeah, just the days leading up to the FOMC meeting today, Bitcoin dominance has been pumping, and it has reached a previous high of almost 60% dominance. And now we're actually seeing a slight decline ever since the decision, which is actually very positive for the altcoin. If we see this like long wick, is this like I forgot what it's called. This candle is called, but it's like something like a doji or something, probably a reversal candle. If there's a long wick on the top and it remains there, then and then especially if it would confirm lower the next day, if we close below the low of this candle, then I think there is a much higher chance that this is a double top and this Bitcoin dominance could be heading down to the support, which could be around, depending on when it hits this line, but probably around 58%, which would be pretty positive for the altcoins in the short term. Uh, so a little bit about altcoins. Since altcoins have increased in the number of altcoins substantially due to places like what's it called? Uh what's that the name of that thing has escaped me, but the Solana platform, okay, it's called Pump.Fun. Yeah, that platform where people can create any uh meme coins or basically any token they want based on Solana has increased the number of cryptos in the market so much that now we have millions of cryptocurrencies, 10.3 million cryptos. Whereas like 4 years ago, that this number was probably like 20,000, I think. I don't know exactly. Depends on what time you're talking about, but it was much lower than this. It was definitely less than 10, 20,000-ish. Um, so we've seen an exponential increase in the number of cryptos, which has made crypto and altcoin seasons much more difficult to happen because the amount of capital that could be uh, used to pump the altcoins has been decreased. So basically, that means that we have to be a lot more diligent in finding coins that are actually good quality. Um, so a lot of the meme coins are going to be not good investments anymore. They could be good for short-term trades if you're just trading based on technicals, but that's like go in and out. If you're good at trading short term, then go for that. But whatever. Most people can't really do that. But uh there are some quality altcoins that people can trade. And that might go up. Like Toshi might be one of them. Um, as we saw that the other day. But actually, I'm not going to talk too much about altcoins today. Well, maybe later I will. But right now we're seeing a lot of the pumps in AI focused altcoins like ArcSol. This is like a I think a platform that launches the AI agents. I don't know much about this coin, but apparently it's very, very popular. But really, the most popular one, and the one that I've used before, it's called Virtuals, and this is uh, a market leader in launching AI agents. And we're seeing a little bounce, but this is a very small bounce, honestly. Um, but I believe that this coin has good fundamentals and a good future. So that's a potential coin people can look at. And then I also want to talk a little bit about the trade I was talking about, CFX. It was a very frustrating coin for me to trade, and I'm learning a lot from this. I think it's great that I'm coming on here to talk about my trades and the mistakes I've made and what I've learned from it. This is helping me to grow, and hopefully people can also learn from that. But basically, with this coin, as I explained in the previous video, that this is a Chinese blockchain that was sort of pumping on the day that DeepSeek was dumping the all the other coins and market and stuff like that. And that was 2 days ago on Monday. And I saw this market cipher green dot on a large volume on this candle. But I also saw that this um let me just adjust this slightly. So what I also saw is that it tested this resistance, but then it closed below this resistance, showing me that this was being rejected by resistance. And the next candle um, dumped heavily, and it closed below this trend line. And after it closed below this trend line, today it pumped back up, and then it almost retested, almost touched the previous resistance, but now it's slightly below. So what I've learned from that is when I entered on this candle, I should have seen the fact that this was rejected by this trend line and also rejected by the 50 EMA, and that was a not a bullish sign at all. Even though there was a green dot on the market cipher and there was big rain volume, I should have seen that the money flow was red, and also because FOMC meeting was the next day, I should have been a lot more careful. So, um, not the next day. That was yesterday. Today is the FOMC meeting. Yesterday was peak fear of the entire market. Usually, the day before the Fed decision is peak fear, and you see the biggest dumps. Um, Especially when it's like a very highly anticipated um meeting where people are just like so uncertain. So it dumped below this trend line. This is like the trend line where I told myself, hey, if it closes below this trend line, then I'm gonna have to cut my losses and short the market. Um, but since then it actually has bounced up because, like I said, all the coins are bouncing up and it's a relief rally. We don't know how long some of these pumps are going to last. It could literally just pump for today and then dump the next day. We don't really know. But what I've learned from this is that actually I'm going to wait until this breaks out on some level. So I'm going to readjust this trend line because now there's new data point. Um, so now this is the new dot that I'm connecting. So basically, for me to get into CFX again, I'm gonna have to see that a candle close above this trend line, which at as of today it's about 16.85. 16.85 cents. If it closes above this level, then I am comfortable um, longing this coin. And as I said before in the previous videos, every time we see a new year, Chinese New Year, we see this coin pretty much pump, you know, a lot, a big percentage afterwards. So it's happened the past three Chinese New Year um, since its inception, it has seen three Chinese New Years and has pumped on all three, and now it's on its fourth Chinese New Year. Today is actually the start of the Chinese New Year, and there's potential for a pump here. But I'm not going to get in until I see a confirmation of a breakout to the upside. Or else this might just be a lackluster bounce to the upside before dumping more. Um, so that's what I'm thinking. But let's see here. And also, yeah, when I exited from this position, um, I actually put some of that into XRP. And the reason why I put that money into XRP is that I saw that during the when the market was like the most fearful, XRP held up in that condition the best out of any other coin. And you could see like it kind of just went sideways, slightly lower. It's like consolidating bullishly. This is basically like a smaller bullish flag on top of this bigger bullish flag. And then one day, uh, XRP did dump hugely, but then that dump got bought up and then it bounced right up. So I felt safe putting some money into XRP because I felt that this is seems to be the safest coin at this moment. Doesn't mean that it can't dump. Like there's a chance that it could dump and invalidate this whole structure. But for now, um, I'm cautiously optimistic about XRP. I already have a lot of spot position, but I was able to also get into some leverage position just to ride out some of the pumps. And we'll see how it goes. So yeah, just learning more about trading, and making some mistakes here and there, but also making a lot of big gains. Like the other day, one of my biggest profit was Toshi. I showed you in one of my previous videos. Like I bought in around this point, probably like yeah, this point. And then I wrote it up to here. It's hard to put like there's so many zeros in the price that I can't say the exact price. I'm not gonna try to say that, but I'm just gonna tell you the percentage increase that this coin had, about 670% in 12 days. I kind of scaled out on the way up, and I took profit on like between 80 to 90% of this coin. So I have a small position now in this coin, expecting some sideways actions and perhaps even some dump consolidation. But it looks like this coin is holding up well. So I don't expect a big dump on this coin. It might even keep moving up a little bit. It's going to test like this higher part of this wick, and we'll see from there what it goes, how it goes. It might like uh, break out a little bit here, but I really do think that if Toshi wants to see a more sustained upside, then it needs a longer consolidation of several weeks to several months. Right now, it's on like basically day three of consolidation. So if it wants to break out again, it probably won't be a sustainable breakout, and it probably will dump down to the some lower level and then consolidate continuously. But I do think that this is one of the greatest meme coin trade um, for the rest of the year. Um, I do think it's gonna beat Brett in terms of its market cap, and there was a AI agent that Toshi is building um, as part of their project, I guess. So people love seeing things like that. So um, I hold small position as well as Swift coin. Yeah, I similar to Toshi, I scaled out, especially when I saw this like big bearish candle that suggests that there's gonna be some consolidation coming afterwards. And let's look at Spell Token. This was doing really well. It broke out and it hasn't gone up all that much yet. I do think that there's a lot more upside. It's like I said, there is a resistance. It broke out of this resistance here, but then there's another resistance here that I drew near the levels of like previous highs. So currently it's like sort of rejected, but not really. It's not a big rejection because looks like a green candle might be printing today. If it's like a green candle, then it might be slowly, gradually pushing to the upside to eventually break out. And then if it breaks out and turns this resistance into support, then we could be looking at, 160% pump to the upside to 45 cents. That's my target. It doesn't have to reach there, but that's where I'm looking at. Now let's just look at other coins that are bouncing. Um, let's see here. Well, just a lot of bounces across the board. Like I said, like, you have any butthole coin. This is like a derivative of Fart coin, I think, because Fart coin was doing so well. It's like a AI related narrative, and I don't know how well for butthole coin is actually going to do. I do think that this may be a potential short. It's pumping up so much, and it's coming up to try to test the resistance here. And at the resistance, if it gets rejected here, it might be a good short to then go down. And yeah, across the board, we're just seeing lots of altcoins dumping. And if the project doesn't have any fundamental value to go with the token, then the market is more likely to dump it, especially when there's a lot of fear in the market. So if there's a lot of fear in the FOMC decision, like the next one I think is in March. I forget the exact date, but if the same condition that we saw last week repeats again in March, leading up to the decision, then we could see a lot of meme coins and other coins that are just jokes and no fundamentals could start to see a lot of dumps. For example, Fartcoin, we know it's meme that it has a really cool narrative, like because it is based on AI and stuff like that. It's not, it's like the narrative is that the idea for this coin was created by an AI, and for a lot of people love that and think it's funny, so they pump this token. But what I'm seeing is that we're seeing a potential head and shoulder pattern coming up for this. So even though it's pumping a lot right now because it's dumped so much. We're seeing left shoulder, the head, and then we could be just looking at another bounce to the upside. It does not even have to reach this level, but if it does reach this level, it's facing a big resistance here, and it could dump down again. Um, and honestly, like, yeah, this trend line, if it breaks below this trend line, um, yeah, I think there could be a further downside to this coin. So we'll see. Like, we'll see. We'll see. Potential short on this one, but not yet. This is like a coin that could bounce really hard to the upside. So we'll see. Um, I'm not gonna short it too much in advance. Like it's not good to be too early in your shorts, and the bullish potential for this coin is that it could just consolidate. It could bounce off of this level and retest the high and consolidate and maybe even break out to an all-time high over there. But we're not. I don't think the head and shoulder is going to be invalidated until we see it like a breakout above this level, like the 1.6 level, and then turn that into support, then break out to the upside. So I'd be cautious with this one. And yeah, very exciting market today. Learning a lot, looking at how the market is moving due to certain policies and rate decision, things like that's fascinating. Um, and I feel relieved. I can feel the relief of the market. It's palpable. Um, and we'll see if this pump continues and yeah, thanks for watching.